We're back with new Dexter. Who dis?
Who dis?
I'm thinking about episode 1 real quick. I was just seeing a lot of folks on the interwebs talking about how can Dexter be alive? And they're just pissed at the fact that he's back.
Yeah.
Which, hey, it's called Resurrection, so obviously he's going to be back. So yeah. I'm fine with it, but I don't know why everyone's getting all crazy about it. I mean, they do explain, right?
Give an explanation in episode 1. You know, and this is a spoiler-heavy show, obviously, so we'll even say, like, they talked about how cold it was outside, how it slowed his heart rate, slowed his blood in general. I mean, he was basically going into hypothermia when he shot, so
sure,
he's not bleeding out as fast. Now, I'll admit the look of the gunshot looked like it was directly in his heart, which doesn't need a lot to bleed out. But there's always, you know...
I'll suspend belief for this. You
right.
know?
And I mean, what was the actual angle? What type of bullet?
Sure.
Did it hit something else? Like, there's so many little things you could say. It's like, oh, if it was a quarter inch to the left, you know, all that shit. But
I mean...
Yeah, I'm not hung up on the fact that they said it was so fucking cold out that you didn't bleed out, but if it was any temperature higher, you would have. I'm like, okay, I'll give you that one in a million.
And you're one buddy who just doesn't accept it at all as an ending.
Yeah.
But you know, we're gonna accept it and see what episode 2 is gonna look like.
I'm ready for the dose.
What's it called?
What's it called? Let me see what it's called. It's called Camera Shy.
All right, Camera Shy. Let's do it. Heads up, this podcast we do discuss spoilers. So if you have not seen Dexter, Dexter Resurrection, highly recommend you watch it and then listen to us because we're going to go into a bunch of spoilers. So just FYI. So episode 2, Camera Shy. We're watching this and there's so many new characters that I'm not used to all at once. You know, like I feel like New Blood, they slowly introduce characters, which I know, right, it's a good thing and a bad thing because you want to have everyone starting the story so that you can follow through. But on this side, I mean, we've got the detective, we got Uma Thurman, which... Do you know exactly what her character is besides...
I do, but not because of what they've shown us, so I don't think it's fair.
Okay. So I'm getting that she's, like, I don't know, behind some sort of mafia possible scenario, but there's her character with this other guy who usually works for her. I just feel like there's so many characters. I'm trying to keep up. How are you feeling with the amount of characters in episode 2?
I don't think the amount's the problem. I think it's the amount with unexplained stuff, right? So in a lot of shows, it'll be like rapid fire. Boom, this is this guy. This is where he's from. Boom, this is this guy. Is how we know him. Boom, this is the cook. This is the neighbor. This is the work boss. You know, they do have a lot of characters that they're not providing context with, like Uma Thurman's character, the man that she saw, the other house she was in.
Yep.
Like I said, I feel like it's a little unfair because I picked up from the trailer who her character is going to be in context. And it's all going to make sense. But at a certain point also, if you give me a bunch of information without answers, the longer you go until you get there, the less impressive those details become because you start forgetting them. Like, oh, I guess that would have made sense at the time. I mean, like I feel like her character is a character I'm rewatching because I know what she's building towards. And I feel like that you're gonna miss so much of it because by the time it comes around to it, you're gonna be like, okay, so does that mean that like you have to go back?
Right, and I'm still like, there's just so much, right? There's the imposter, which we got a new big bag scary person for Dexter to go after.
What did you think about having him called the Dark Passenger?
I was not sure exactly why. Like, if it was just intentionally just to rile up Dexter? Like, is that what that's about? Or
they're just being cute.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay.
And that's the only reason I'm kind of like, it's funny, but that's why it's there. Wouldn't it be funny if... Okay. And you know how that's like my biggest pet peeve of like writing styles.
You do hate that in writing. But.
Yeah. If I get the feeling of, ooh, wouldn't it be funny if we... Oh my God, that is so funny. Like there's a certain way that comes off that way versus people being like, this would be funny to have here, or are we building a comedy? Do we want to be cutesy?
Right.
And Dexter's...
And I think...
He's had a history of having like cutesy little things here and there, but yeah, the idea that he encounters his first serial killer in New York and he's called the Dark Passenger, and then let's make Dexter all petty about it.
Right, I think there is a fine line between like corny, cutesy, and cringe. I think those are all things that we're like trying to react, you know, like as pretty brutally honest as possible. And I think that's something that I'm like, in the addition of new characters, I'm just like confused as to some of these choices.
Yeah.
Is all. There's a lot going on. I feel like these characters are kind of distracting me from the story of Harrison and Dexter. You know, we see Harrison is just, you know, getting wasted. He's seeing people. He's seeing his dead victim. He's seeing Dexter. So he's kind of losing it.
It does feel like they're trying to force in jump scares, and it's like, is Dexter a horror movie? Because I really always felt like one of the things that set Dexter apart from that genre was it wasn't a part of that genre. You know what I mean? It's not horror at all. It happens to have a very like seriously gruesome concept.
Right.
But like we said, it wasn't often gruesome. It wasn't often gory. It didn't go for jump scares. It does him now. But now it does, yeah.
It does now, yeah.
Now it's gory, and we're jump scares, and we're cutesy, and...
Yeah, so it's a very different feel, I think, than, like, even New Blood, you know, where, I don't know, it just feel like there's a lot going on, and maybe it's just because it's only the second episode, but I'm, like, trying to follow all of these storylines and see, like, okay, how is this going to connect? Who does this connect to? Does it connect to Harrison? Does it connect to Dexter? Then we've got Batista, who's obviously trying to chase Dexter down. At some point, he's going to learn about Harrison, especially because, you know, Harrison has Dexter's car. But, I mean, I just think there's a lot of stories going on here where I feel like in the past, there were only, like, a couple main storylines, right? Because you don't want to confuse the viewer too much.
Especially, I mean, it's tough to say, right? Like, I mean, I think part of the problem is that, I mean, it does feel bloated, but it also feels like a lot of the stories that all the characters had throughout the years was throughout the years. And I wonder if they're just kind of leaning on goodwill, but it does feel so different and fresh that it's almost kind of, we do want to be reintroduced to some of this. Like, I don't like, what the fuck is Batista doing? Did he retire? Is he still a cop? Is he just on leave? Like just from an actual logistical standpoint, what is he doing? We know that he's sniffing out and he's kind of on to the idea that this stuff's not adding up.
Right.
But we didn't see him before he showed up, and we haven't seen him in between these little conversations to understand what is he doing? What is his current position? How did he find out about half of this stuff? You know what I mean? Like Oh wait, well there was that one convention, right? That topped him off in New Blood. The convention,
in New Blood, I know they do explain it, but I can't remember at this moment.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that is important, right? Because we just want to know, like, where are the other characters and how are they coming into play, or are they being forced into this without explanation? Because then that's just really leaving a lot of like, you know, a lot of disbelief. Like, we're just gonna have to roll with it. Like, I don't know. I'm trying not to look at, like, and think about all those details, but
I'm just kind of letting it flow, because I feel like that my hope is that it's intentionally leaving stuff out there so they can tie it up together as they go. I just hope it's not one of those rapid fire tie-togethers You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like, I've been watching another show recently, and I don't want to like go into details 'cause of if people haven't seen it and spoilers and all that. But it was like the final episode of the season. We're kind of like, this is a whole lot all happening all at once. It just answered a million questions, and it kind of made the episode seem flat because it seemed too wordy, overwritten. It seemed overly complicated for no reason because they just were rapid. I just hope that this isn't leading everyone on to just be like, and then here's the answer.
Was it one of my shows?
It was, yeah.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
I just kind of hope that we get a little bit more as we go. I hope that they're just going to tie it together as we go, and they start to overlap more than seem separate. Because they're going to have to all converge, and that's what I'm kind of waiting for, is when the stories all become one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even just trying to wrap my head around Dark Passenger / imposter looking like Dexter. Like, that was my actual first question. My first question to you was when we saw him in the back of the ride share was, is that Dexter? Because he's got a hood on and he kind of looked like him.
He looked and sounded so much like Dexter.
Yes.
That even by the time you'd asked me, I hadn't figured it out yet. And you asked me for a bit, and I was like, I'm trying to sort that out because they made him so much, and they didn't show us his whole face. Nope. You know what I mean? Like, the way they hid him from us makes it, which I'm sure is on purpose when I think about it. Because, I mean, the idea that the other guy's all like, you know what? He looks like you. I think there is supposed to be this moment of Dexter confronting the dark passenger. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to have, I think, a very literal transition happen for a very non-literal concept. And I think it's necessary to make Dexter look and sound like him, or vice versa. I mean, but so I think it's going to be an intentional thing. It's going to be cooler as it goes. But in that initial 4 minutes, I was kind of like, is that fucking Dexter? Are they making it a version of Dexter? Or is that Michael C. Hall? Like, I couldn't fucking figure it out. And I think that's on purpose. Is I think going to be like looking into a mirror.
And then the fact that he cuts off the guy's head, that's all his victims. I just think, I'm trying to think of all the other killers in the past, or victims, right? Or not victims. Dexter's victims. Like, they were all so different, and they had different kills that they're really distinct. You know, someone that was really into taxidermy, and someone that was really into chasing, the chase and hunting. You had these very different serial killer personalities, whereas this, I'm kind of like, is this character, does he just happen to kind of have these qualities similar to Dexter, or is it he is intentionally copying Bay Harbor Butcher? But
I think that if that were the case, they wouldn't know those things about the Bay Harbor Butcher, right? They know about the victims, but they wouldn't know that he got into the car, that he wore a hood, that he used that string with the handles to... Especially in the first episode, right? Yeah. I think there's just a lot of details there. So I think it is supposed to be that he just happens to be alike, not that he is intentionally. Like I said, I think they're being cute. I think they're putting a visual representation of a figurative thing. Okay. So I think we're going to see how the Dark Passenger thing ends, but I feel like it's going to be a little cutesy too. This feels like a real cute show. Oh. Cute little horror gimmick is what it feels like to me.
I mean, I really was hoping that the focus was going to be what I think is the most important, which is the relationship between Harrison and Dexter. He's coming back to cover up for Harrison's mistakes, right? He peels the blood off the ceiling. He's reviewing the crime scene. But, is he going to address him? Is he going to just let him find him? Harrison will eventually find him, just by happenstance. I'm not really sure why that's not kind of the main focus. I feel like it's just another background into...
I feel like Dexter's constantly talking about why he's not just going up to him. Because Harry keeps basically asking the questions you'd be asking. Just go do it. Just if this is what you want. You said this, just go do it. He's like, I feel like that Harry's kind of representing us. Okay. In that way, Dexter, that's why he keeps putting us off, because he's like, we're getting there, we're telling the story, let it cook, cook. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, there was something else you had said. I was
gonna. One of the characters, one of the Therma. No.
I don't know. Maybe it's a cutesy thing.
It's gonna end all cutesy.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a cute show. This is Disney.
This is Disney?
No, but it feels like they've got Disney writers. They have the same Disney music catalog and everything's cute.
Oh, yes. We are, I will say, we are still kind of bugging on the music. Like, and that just comes from, like, I don't know, growing up really, like I remember, like, buying CDs, like, buying soundtrack CDs because I was like, oh, man, I haven't heard this band, or, you know, like, I loved learning, like, music that I hadn't, or songs that at least I hadn't heard, and being like, let me dig into that. Now I'm going to go find their album. Like, I liked new stuff, or just unique stuff from maybe a popular band.
That's true.
You know, like, that was my favorite.
Yeah. A lot of movies had really good music that I didn't know anything about until I heard it.
Right.
And some of it, and I'll give them even a little bit of credit, some of it was stuff that was classic songs or popular songs a decade or two before.
Sure.
So I wouldn't have known, right? Like, and they're doing that here. But at a certain point, this does feel like you just kind of Googled #1 Black Sabbath song in the world. And they go, this has been the #1. And go, oh, let's do that one. You know what I mean? Like, the fact it wasn't Crazy Train is incredible, but... it's just corny.
It's just there's other ways to do it, and that's the one thing that I'm like, man, you could use music as a really, like, great tool to facilitate the story.
It's kind of ironic that they're making another I Know What You Did Last Summer, because this feels very 90s horror.
Really?
Yeah, to me, because everything's kind of cute and a little jump scare and a little, you know, I don't.
Huh. I didn't thought of that, but
it's more gory for sure, but it feels like those things.
All right.
Since now.
See, he's taking control of the Dark Passenger.
New York may be a big town, but it's not big enough for 2 dark passengers.
Okay, that was real fucking cute.
My kill table is ready for you.
Also, it was the second time they said it in the same episode. Because when you first heard it too, he said that. It might be big town, but not big enough. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This town ain't big enough for the 2 of us.
They thought that was so clever when they wrote it. Like, that's so good, dude. That's perfect. Perfect, dude. Just put it at the end too.
Yeah, I want to keep liking it, you know. They're not making it easy on this one.
Like, it's not terrible, but it is, especially after rewatching chunks of season 1 and stuff, you remember
how good it was.
How good and clever.
Yeah, and it just, I think the script was, like, fluid, you know? Like, a lot of, well, okay, there's one episode of original Dexter that I did not care for because of one of the main characters, but that's all to say, I think, like, I don't know, I think the dialogue and the lines, like, they have to be careful about cringe versus corny versus, like, clever.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not seeing a lot of clever in this one.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's a little obvious, and
I hope they bring it together. Well, let us know what you guys thought of episode 2, because we're still trying to fill this out. You know, hoping that they flesh a lot of these storylines out. Yeah, I'm a little surprised at, like, the tone of it.
yeah,
It's a very different tone than anything we've seen. It's really fast paced, even in the second episode now. I just feel like it's go.
yeah.
It's like so I'm curious to see where it goes, and I'm hoping that, you know, there's a big payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to see where it's going. I'm giving it the time, but
yeah,
this is not.
Like you got killer cast, right? I mean,
yeah.
Obviously it comes from a killer story, but like I don't know. I'm really hoping it turns around and starts like making a lot more sense, and the dialogue starts, becoming more solid and like organic, I think. Because it doesn't feel like that.
That detective is horrible. The way she talks is awful.
It just, to me, it feels like someone who watched the series and is trying to remake a character. Like trying to mimic that character,
I don't think there's ever been a character in Dexter that was like her. They're trying to make her sound like a robot.
No, that's her. I mean, I think that's her being super smart and like the best of the best kind of character.
They're making her like autistic. She doesn't talk fluidly. She talks like this someone who's disconnected from humanity in every way.
Huh. Okay.
Or maybe not even humanity, because autistics are still connected to humanity. But I'm saying like, she's talking in a way that is hard to connect with, and she's obnoxious. It's this real nose up, snooty kind of I'm smarter than you in every way attitude towards everybody. Everything and everybody is like less valuable than her, except for apparently her case. And I don't even get a sense from her that anything matters more than the win. Like I don't get a sense that she gives a shit about the victims at all. She cares about catching the killer so she can say I got it, win for me. The whole like humanity part of it doesn't feel like of any concern to her.
Yeah. I mean, I think Harrison's showing the most humanity of all of them, really.
I mean, he's going crazy.
Yeah, but because he feels, he feels something that he actually didn't go through with it, that he did murder and like, chop the body up and everything. So I think, there's that. But then also you got Dexter's changing too.
Yeah, saved that taxi guy's life.
Yep. So it ended with Dexter, really trying to confront the the imposter, unsuccessful. But yeah, I mean, Harry's saying this is different. This is not what you usually killed for, this is a different Dexter. So that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I said it felt like a very literal manifestation of the Dark Passenger and confronted a Dark Passenger and all this. And the Dark Passenger was always what he associated with being empty inside. Yeah. Well, he's not empty inside anymore, so he's going to defeat the Dark Passenger. And yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels like a very heavy-handed analogy they're making with it. But I think it's good to have Dexter change in that way, start giving him emotion. It was always a thing too, where as much as even in the original series where he was talking about how much he didn't understand the emotions, it was way different in season 1 than season 4 or 5 by the time he starts having the family. Yeah,
because he's gotten so good at just picking up on things that others are really, really looking for in him around. Like just observing, like he got really, really good at knowing what to say and how to act.
Yeah. I mean, in the beginning they showed that he was acting and structured, but by the end of the original series, he cared about a lot of people.
He did.
You know what I mean? He showed that he cared, and he showed he could get hurt, where in earlier seasons it was like, I'm not even sure if I can cry. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So I do like that they're keeping his character growing in that way. He's kind of becoming a split between the two, right? He's becoming like not so Jekyll and Hyde, but like a Two-Face. You know what I mean? Where it's like they're both right up front. He can care and still have this desire to murder.
Yeah. So. Well, thanks for listening to us rant about episode 2. Let us know what you thought of episode 2.
Yeah, where's it going?
Thanks for taking a stab at it.
Unbelievable.